Not just postponed, Imran Khan, the Pakistan Prime Minister, cancels his address to the nation after meeting with General Bajwa, the army chief. That's the big news coming in. So not just postponed, that address is not happening anytime soon. But remember, 3rd or 4th April is when the no trust voting will take place in the Pakistan National Assembly. I'm joined now from Islamabad by journalist Alia Zehra. Alia, what exactly is happening there? Because we were expecting an address, that's not happening now. Numbers bhi unke saath nahi hai. MQM jump kar chuka hai. What is exactly now the future for Imran Khan?
So the MQM was going to address the press conference, which they have just did, and they have formally announced. We had known since last night that they have decided to join the opposition, but they were not formally announcing it. Now they're formally announced at a press conference that they have sided with the opposition. Now this is certainly a big setback to Imran Khan once again, and now we have been told that the address, at first it was postponed, but now it's not happening at all. And now there's been a meeting between the army chief and Imran Khan. So it seems that he's in a state of desperation because he was supposed to address the nation, and I spoke to Sheikh Rashid Ahmed a few hours ago, and I asked him if Imran Khan is going to announce his resignation in that address, but he strongly denied this, and he said that Imran Khan is going to fight till the last ball.
Okay.
So, and he's not going to resign. But now that he's cancelled the address, maybe he's thinking of resigning. Maybe he's making a last ditch effort to convince the establishment to start supporting him again in that meeting with the army chief. So yeah, that's the whole situation, and I think that as far as the number game is concerned, he's clearly the game is totally over for him because right now the MQM is with the opposition, and there are several dissident lawmakers of the PTI as well, and now we have been told that at least 5 or 6 more lawmakers of the PTI are ready to jump ship, and they're also going to vote against Imran Khan. So the number of dissident members is also rising, and he is clearly, now people who are, who know about the whole situation, they're advising him to just step down, because that would be a more, a maturer way to deal with this whole situation, instead of, just clinging on to power until the
So Alia, the numbers are not with him. He now has 164 since the MQM has jumped. Also, you're telling us, and there is, of course, this buzz that his own party descendants may actually jump ship and desert him, and that could become an embarrassment. So resignation is being mulled over. But do you think this disillusionment, so to say, or criticism of Imran Khan is just within the parliament or even in society? Because there have been protests against him on different issues. So what do you think is really happening with regard to Imran Khan? Does he have people's support in the country?
See, that there have been opposition protests in the past few days, and these protests by the opposition parties were, mainly against the inflation and economic crisis. So people in those protests, they were very frustrated, and, the segments who have grown frustrated with Imran Khan's government, they have, their number has been rising. The business community, the traders, even students, they have been, frustrated with the economic crisis, with the policies that this government takes, and more importantly, Imran Khan's attitude towards it. His indifference and his tone deafness is, has been a major reason for the crisis that he currently finds himself in. He has been, there was a protest 2 years ago by the family members of the victims of a terror attack, and they wanted Imran Khan to visit them. But he said that, don't blackmail me, I'm not going to visit you. So he called the heirs of the terror attack victims blackmailers, just because they wanted him to visit, and reassured them that such attacks will not take place again. But now look at him. He's been visiting his allies, and, he had to take resignation from his chief minister Usman Buzdar of the Punjab, who he had been calling Wasim Akram Plus, and kept telling him that he is telling people that he's the most important part of his team, and he's not going to let him go.
Yes.
And there have been several demands from various quarters that Usman Buzdar is not the right person for this job. He is not, concerned about the province, and the chief minister should be changed. But Imran paid no heed to all these demands. But now, just to woo his ally PMLQ.
Very interesting what you're telling us, Alia, because is he actually be able to fight back if the numbers are not with him? The army chief, the ISI DG visiting him, and then he cancels the address. Interesting days, but the question is, by the 4th of April, will it still be Naya Pakistan's Imran Khan, or will it be a Naya Prime Minister?